Welcome everybody to another edition of the TalkingWithHeroes.com program. I am Bob Calvert, your host, and we're still broadcasting from Afghanistan. We're on Forward Operating Base Fenty, and before we get started with our next guest, I want to thank our sponsors again, because without them, I would not be here. Rob Brazell with ReturnToWork.org, Blackhawk.com, FreedomHunters.org, Newsblaze.com, number5jump.com, sportsmanswarehouse.com, Eric Chia in Olathe, Kansas, Colin Clark in Elizabeth, Colorado, Debbie Gregory with militaryconnection.com, soldiersangels.org, and retired Chief Warrant Officer Dennis McCormack, retired from Fort Carson in Colorado Springs. And so I want to thank them all. Check out their websites, those of them that have websites, and let them know that you found out about them because of this trip that they helped make possible. And so we're here at Forward Operating Base Fenty Chapel, and sitting in front of me here is Staff Sergeant Sneeders. Okay, great. Well, I want to welcome you to Talking with Heroes. And if you could share a little bit about yourself, maybe start out how long you served in the military, go back a little bit on that, and just share a little bit about your military career.
I've been in the military for 17 years. About this year will be 17 years. I've had several MOSs, and currently I'm serving as a 56 Mike, the Brigade Chaplain Assistant for 4-4. This is probably my favorite job so far, and I love it a lot.
So is this your first deployment?
No, this is my second deployment. I was in Kuwait for 2.5 years, from 2004 to 2007.
Wow, that's a long deployment.
Yes, sir.
Yep. And so, are you from Colorado?
No, I'm not. I grew up in Ohio, and of course I've traveled a while from being in the military.
Okay. And the other day when we were chatting a little bit, you were telling me about you have a ranch, and you have a pretty good sized family. Why don't you talk about that?
I have a few acres in Fort Carson, Colorado. I have 80 acres. We have a few horses. I have 7 horses and a pony, and some chickens and turkeys and ducks, and I have a few cats and dogs. And I have 5 of the 2-legged kind. I have 5 kids that are grown, and I have a granddaughter and a great-granddaughter.
Okay. So what motivated you to change your MOS to be in ministry in the military?
When I was, this is actually my personality. When I was in Kuwait, I was in the Army for 10 years and got out. When I came back in, I tried to change my MOS, and they wouldn't let me because I already had 3 MOSs. The Army will not pay for you to get trained again when you already have so many. Then when I went, I was mobilized and went to Kuwait, and they needed chaplain assistance, so I took that opportunity to do on-the-job training. And when I came back from Kuwait, I reclassified and became a 56 Mike. But it's my personality.
Okay. So talk about what it was like when you got here. Did you start it right away in the chapel?
Yes.
You've been pretty much here the whole time, except going on some missions or
No.
other...
Yes. Chaplain Matty is my chaplain. He's the brigade chaplain, and he's the priest. When we first got here, he was the only priest, and we cover a very large area. And because of the mission that we have, he's mandated to travel. So we travel to all of the FOBs and COBs. And so I've gone on several missions to do services and to take care of the troops. Chaplain Matty has gone on more missions than I have because we have to do a dual role. So we do, we separate to make sure that the brigade mission gets covered. The mission here is each chaplain has an area that they cover, and so they cover where their people are at. So each chaplain travels a little bit to do missions and to cover down and to take care of their troops. But I've gone on about 100 missions.
100 missions?
Yes, sir.
So what, you fly helicopters, you go on convoys, you do it all, right?
We have gone on a few convoy missions, but only to close locations. We don't go on long convoy missions, but we go everywhere by helicopters.
So you're going to basically forward operating bases, COPs, which are smaller outposts, right?
Yes.
What do you do when you get them?
We visit the troops, set up for service, do chaplain does counseling. We deliver care packages. We do mentoring, and we usually stay a day, sometimes two, and then we come back.
Okay. You say you deliver care packages, and these come from back home?
Yes.
From churches, organizations, or where do you get them from?
We have angels. We have adopted troop. We have churches. We have family, and we have several organizations that deliver us. Sometimes we can actually call like coffee manufacturers, and they'll send us coffee.
Great.
And yeah, we have a lot of organizations that send places stuff for the troops.
Adopted Troop, that's an organization, right?
Yes, sir.
And then you said angels. Soldiers
Yes.
Angels or
Yes.
Soldiers Angels? Okay. And then churches too.
Yes.
Do you have some in Colorado Springs or?
Yes, we have a few.
Okay.
And then, of course, the soldiers' families back home, they get together a lot and send for the holidays and stuff. They send us. We got a lot of care packages for Christmas
So
that
you're,
we sent.
you're helping them spiritually, but you're also cheering them up with care packages from
I
home.
hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Do they get letters too or
Yes.
cards?
Not nearly enough.
Really?
Yes. I think that people at home don't realize that they send emails and we get telephone calls, but they don't realize how much a hard copy letter in your hand means more than an email.
Do the children in churches send cards or schools?
Oh yeah,
They
we
do.
get a lot from the schools and the Girl Scout troops and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. Reporting from here in Afghanistan, I am Bob Calvert, your host at TalkingWithHeroes.com.